Welcome back to Bear With Me. The Boston Bruins are now 20-19-5, and that is good enough for 4th in the division, 7th in the Eastern Conference, and 17th in the National Hockey League. My name is Copponi. That's Rob Tocci. Rob. Oh, you know?
Yeah, like you didn't ask me how it's doing because you already know.
I wasn't going to ask something stupid like that. We're brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time Tickets, the best place to buy tickets online to sports concerts, all your favorite events. The Boston Bruins have lost 6 games in a row. First things first. We take no responsibility for this.
Why would we?
Because some people were like, hey, guys, naming this stretch of the year Operation Cakewalk might be a little bit of a jinx.
We're past the cakewalk. We're several games past Operation Cakewalk.
But this losing streak, believe it or not, started during the cakewalk.
Yes, it may have.
It started during the Caps game, then the Rangers, and then Leafs, Isles, Oilers. And
the cake went stale. But unless you're going to sit there and tell me that the Bruins team got together and they're like, hey, look, this podcast thinks this is an easy stretch of the season. Maybe we should let up a little bit. Maybe we can conserve our energy.
They might have.
That'd be crazy.
If they were like, oh shit, Joey and Rob said this is going to be a cakewalk. We can take it easy, fellas.
Joe has to like say something in the locker room. He's like, what did they tweet? What did they tweet? Give me something. Give me something.
Fire Sweeney. I don't know.
Oh, it's just a lot of Simpson shit. I don't know.
All right. Where the fuck do we start with?
I don't even know where to start.
It's been a brutal stretch.
It's been
Last time we left you guys, they were in the middle of Operation Cakewalk. And we were like, things are looking up. They had won 4 out of their last 5, I'm pretty sure, is where we left off. And then since then, holy shit. First of all, it's been a little bit. Happy 2025.
Yeah, hey, everybody. I hope your holidays were nice.
Yeah, we took a week off.
And then we took another week off.
And then we took another week off.
It's the new year. I had to do my taxes.
Rob, please let me into your brain.
Come on in. Plenty of room.
What are you thinking about, dude? What are you feeling?
I don't know, man. Like I keep coming back. I'm like centering around the word apathy lately. And I hate being here. I hate being at a point in the season where it's
talking about the Bruins.
We're talking about the Bruins.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, for now, we're talking about the Bruins.
We're centered around apathy, and I hate being here. I just wanted to double check.
I'm also just a little bit nihilist. It's fine. Eat at Arby's. I am just so tired of tuning into these games that I have no faith in them winning. And at a certain point, that reflects on me, that it's like I don't have faith in my team. But then it's also because of their play lately. But what I mean to say is I'm apathetic because it is the dog days of the season. We're in the middle of the season. It's early January. This is generally where I'm like, my attention's like my heart's not so in it lately. Like my heart's in it. Like this team still just crushes my heart on the daily. But the quality of play they're putting on the ice warrants no excitement. It warrants barely attention. And it's so consistent. 6 losses in a row. 6 bad losses. Even the overtime loss, like that game shouldn't have gone overtime. That was, for me, the worst of the losses, honestly, because that was the most winnable out of all of them. So right now, I'm just so annoyed, and I oscillate between being like extremely passionately annoyed with this team and just being like, I don't care. I just don't care right now. I don't care.
Conor Ryan echoed your sentiment that you've been saying for a little bit now, which is that it's just not a good product. Because it's not. And I'm glad that folks are finally saying that. I don't want to say finally realizing that, because something tells me that those guys have probably been feeling that way and been sitting on it and are finally at a place where they're like, okay, I'm going to say it. This like isn't fun to watch. Like this just isn't a good product. And not that the media is watching for entertainment, but you also just look at it through the lens of a fan and you're like, wow, people are really still coming to these games. People are really still watching these games right now. And, granted, it's not it's not, the San Jose Sharks of last year where it's just unwatchable hockey. But in terms of expectations, I don't think that there's a bigger gap in hockey. I mean, the Rangers, I guess you could put in that conversation for a while there where they were losing every game and it was like, holy shit, what's happened to the Rangers? But that was like a collapse, and it was kind of organizational collapse. The Bruins came into the year with expectations to be a playoff team. And some people were like, I think they could be a cup contender. And some people were like, well, I think that they're more of like a third in the division to a wild card team, but they're going to be there. And if you have wins coming in, no matter how you get them, they're fun to watch. It's fun to watch teams win, even if they're winning 1-0, because you're watching a win every night. The consolation being, if you're losing games, but you're losing them 6-5, and you have some guys, at the top of the league in points and in goals, and you can pinpoint things like, man, we just need, one more D-man at the deadline, or man, if we trade for a goalie down the stretch, even a rental, that would be huge. With this team, it's like the whole brand of hockey feels broken. They don't feel like the Bruins. They don't play like the Bruins. You rarely see tenacity, and you rarely see the approach to the game that we've been so used to seeing for years. I'm going to give credit to Steve Dangle real quick, because
that's how you know we're not doing well.
That's how you know times are tough, because he said something that genuinely sent a shiver down my spine. He's a Toronto fan, in case you don't know. And he's like, I'm very familiar with the Bruins. They've been the big bad boogeyman in my life for a long time. And their culture has always been the thing that scares me, because for somehow they draft Bruins. They trade for Bruins. They sign Bruins. And even if they are not, the second they get there, it takes them that long to become a Bruin and play Bruin hockey. And he said, I'm finally seeing that system not work. The guys are coming to Boston and aren't Bruins. And, you and I have talked about the culture of this team hopefully not vanishing once Bergeron and Chara were gone. It just doesn't feel like the Bruins. And it's not just that I'm not seeing 37 out there and seeing, put it 46, I guess, for some people, and these other numbers that, in these familiar faces, but the style of play and just certain game situations, they feel like a group of hockey players. I don't feel like the Boston Bruins, and sometimes I don't even feel like a team. Is that crazy to say?
No, it looks like it's the first day they all met each other every game. No. There's no chemistry, there's no cohesion. It doesn't look like it looks like they're just constantly reacting to everything. There's no strategy, there's no planning, there's then we'll go do this. It's just their view is 1.5 seconds ahead of them. And it's hockey. That you can't see it out too much further than that, I guess. But in the middle of what you were saying, I thought of something else to kind of solidify what I was saying before about why I'm so disinterested in this team. It's, for me, the heart of it, it doesn't feel like they're even trying to fix themselves. They're not changing anything. The power play is still the same. The penalty kill is still the same. Swayman looked better tonight on an individual level. Just everything about them. It's they're not changing the roster much. They're not changing the lineup. They're everything. It's just the same shit game after game after game. It's you're on a 6-game losing streak. It might be time to, really shake shit up. They're going to fire Montgomery again. They got to do something. And we were going to get to this eventually. I am now fully not out on it because it's not what I want. I'm out on at all expecting Patrick get called up. I do not believe they're in on this season to the point where they would rather just let him keep developing down there instead of calling up now and trying to like miraculously save their season.
I don't understand. I mean, blue in the face. Like I can talk about this forever. So like, there's no point in getting into it all too much. But leaving Patra and even Lysell. I mean, not to get too high on the kid, but like to not try to switch it up and give the kids a shot right now is asinine. I don't understand it. I don't know what you're seeing in Boston to say that these kids can't be here right now. Like they absolutely can. And I don't think it's begging and choosing to criticize Montgomery for shaking up the lines every goddamn minute, and also criticize Sacco right now and say, you got to change something.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's somebody out there who's like, oh, now you're complaining they're not changing it. It's like, well, we don't need the extremes.
Exactly. Like, this is not what we meant when we were like, leave the lines alone. I don't mean, hey, you're in a 6-game losing streak, just keep everything the same. Like, they don't look good together. Like, if the Bruins string together 2 tape-to-tape passes, I sit forward a little bit. Like, we're at a place where I'm like, oh my God, they're moving the puck with each other. Like, what are they going to do? And like, we're texting each other, like they're putting some good pressure on, even if they don't get a shot on net. Like we're looking for highs that are like zone possession and an ounce of team chemistry. Like watching, you know, these past 2 games in particular, obviously Edmonton, like how can you not just like watch the big guys and say, holy shit, that's what hockey has the potential to be. But them aside, to take half of a notch down, if it even is that, and look at like someone like Nikita Kucherov, who just knows where his teammates are, partly because he's just an amazing fucking hockey player, but also because the team chemistry is what it is, and is able to find guys when it seems like he's not even, you know, remotely aware that they're on the ice, and just suddenly the puck teleports to their blade. Just reminds you like, oh, that's possible. That's possible. Like teams, you can do that. You can do that. Not to say that they should just be executing the game like Connor McDavid and Draisaitl and Kucherov, but
yes, they should.
They all
Every
should. Why
game.
isn't Johnny Beecher Nikita Kucherov? But yeah, I mean the bar is low, and to bring it back to what you were saying, I have no idea why. I have no idea why you don't shake things up and bring Potsy up here, especially when, like, from what we see, which is, you know, a sliver of 1%, he seems liked. You know,
people seem to enjoy him.
I don't mean just I mean like in the locker room.
Oh yeah, no, they seem to love him. He seems just to be the adopted son. He's very endearing. Yeah, you know. I keep thinking about like. And this is another conversation, like Lorai. It's like this guy's like not doing it. Like, and you think you're like you shouldn't keep playing him, but it's like with Lindholm out, like, like who else do you want to put in?
Yeah,
like for the life of me, Osterley's been fine. He sat tonight to get Wotherspoon in. Like none of the defense is good. Like McAvoy's taking a ton of heat lately because he's like Charlie McAvoy, and like we expect bigger things from him. But like Zadorov's defense hasn't been good. Wotherspoon's not really been noticeable. Peake's been okay. Carlo's been not his best. Like it's like no one on an individual level is playing very well. So like of course the team is suffering. But
with someone like Lorai too, like just to put a little sprinkle on Lorai real quick. With someone like Lorai, it's like his game excels when you have shut down stay-at-home defensemen. Yeah, when those guys are excelling at that anyway, is what I mean.
He can't solo tank. He's got to be the secondary.
When he's, you know, he's like trying to make up for his lack of solid play with offensive prowess, and it's like that's cool. They
don't have the puck enough for that.
Yeah, like I feel like 40% of the rushes tonight were Mason Lorai 1-on-4ing it. And it's like, that's cool. But like, that can't be your primary strat. There's no way that we can be relying on him to do that. You know what I do got to tell you?
What do you got to tell me, Joe?
I got to admit something.
Unburden your soul.
It's playoff time, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. And if you sign up today or tomorrow, you can wait till tomorrow if you want to, and get $50. You get $50. You get $50 instantly. All you got to do is play $5. You don't, oh, do I need to win my $5 lineup? No, you don't. You don't need to win to receive it. It's guaranteed. And Prize Picks offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value to your lineup. I'm going to be out of the house on Saturday, which means I'm going to miss one of the better football days of the year. Basically, one of the two best football days of the year, Wild Card Weekend. So that's going to really, really ruin my whole mood. And my poor girlfriend has no idea. We're going to see her family, and she has no idea what a bad mood I'm going to be in because I'm going to be missing this. But I am going to submit a lineup.
Women love that. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm going to
They
just
love
be like,
when you're mad, when you're missing sporting events to be with their family or doing anything they want to do. They want you to tell them too. They don't want you to pout in silence. You should talk about it.
Pout in silence for a little bit, and first 3 times she asks, go, nothing. It's nothing.
Oh, no, she won't even ask because she doesn't want to engage. So you have to act annoyed and then clearly pick up on the fact that she won't ask you. Yeah, there you go. And then you'd be like, really?
I told you that this weekend is like,
what? Never.
There's only like one.
Doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
We know women. We know women. All right, guys.
I submitted a Prize Picks lineup for Lamar Jackson to get more than 250 passing yards and Patrick Mahomes to get more than 1.5 touchdowns. Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup with code CLNS. Prize Picks. Run your game. Bruins are in the rumor mill right now, huh?
They are. I honestly, in my earlier monologue about them not even trying to fix themselves, I really did want to throw in, and there's no trade rumors, but as of today, there are. That being that the Bruins reportedly are targeting Elias Pettersson and or JT Miller. Off the cuff, JT Miller, yes. Pettersson, no. Thank you. I will give you
is that money?
Anybody not named Matt Patra. That's where I'm at. I don't care about anybody on this roster not named Matt Patra staying. Anybody else can go. Anybody.
I mean, the thing, I know that people have put like Patra's name in these trade discussions and whatever. I think that's absolute fucking nonsense. I don't listen. I don't have, all too much faith in the Bruins front office at this exact moment because who would? But I don't think they are so dumb as to trade the future to bet
they won't.
On this year.
They won't.
That makes absolutely zero sense. Like,
no.
If they had a farm system that was, a prospect pool that was 10% better than it is, and this team was 10% better than it is, then maybe we could be like, okay, well, maybe they just got to push the chips in and really go for it. Marshy Twilight years bullshit.
Like the shit they did in the 65 win season when they got Orlov and Hathaway. It's like, all right, fucking all the chips in, push.
This is it. That's not what this year is at fucking all. Like, to do something like that, it does. I mean, if you're trading from the current roster, I understand, I guess. Like, it'd be cool to get any reinforcements right now, especially forwards. Would love that. But if you're going to talk about trading the future, like a kid that's been compared to Patrice Bergeron, like a kid who showed you that at this age, he is capable of being in the National Hockey League and being
even if
a
he's not.
middle six.
Said even if he's not.
Yeah, lighting up the AHL when he's down there, like that's absolutely ridiculous.
I will say one of the reports about the trade specifically said the Bruins are looking to get more talented and younger at center, which subtext, we're not getting rid of Matt Poitras in this process. Otherwise, kind of fighting against yourself at that point. That feels a ways away. That doesn't feel like something that's going to materialize in the next days to weeks. Joe, you have a point.
I have a thought.
You have a thought?
The Canucks are in playoff position right now.
That's not good for. Well, no, that kind of is that good.
So why would they be
sellers?
getting? Yeah, why would they be sellers? That's all.
I don't know. That's a good point.
I just don't think this makes any fucking sense anywhere.
No,
This just sounds like manufactured. But wasn't it Saravalli that said it?
Whoever it was, it's legit. Like it's not it's like I can't recall it, but it's a legitimate rumor. I mean, it's still a rumor, but it's not just like Joe Schmo.
It was reported.
On Twitter.
They were talking that they were in talks.
Yeah, no, I don't expect anything to materialize from that immediately. But I don't know. Is it going to be enough? Also, is the thing. It's also a big part of it is going to be if they hold on to some of his salary, because Miller's making $8 million. I said no to Pettersson because he's not as. I don't think he's as good as Miller. He's making $12 million, and even if he is as good, he's still making 50% more. So no. Bruins have no fucking cap space, so of course they're gonna have to move some people in the trade. Frederick's gone. Also, I think I've said this multiple times, but Frederick will not be a Boston Bruin by the end of the season. I'm pretty sure. I mean, his value is he's tanked it. He has tanked it. It's got nothing. So he's out.
I don't know if is he tradable still?
Yeah. 100%. Because you could just throw it. It's he needs to change the scenery. It could be he needs to change the scenery. One of those things. He would thrive under our teams. He would thrive under. I imagine. I do think there are locations if you went to, he would damn near immediately turn it back on. But
why would the Bruins get anything of value in return for him?
I mean, if he's packaged with other people, I don't even know what teams are really looking for at this point. Too, it's okay, if Vancouver is willing to part with these players, it's what are they looking for? It's would you like a struggling center wing? We have 12 of them. Oh, also, real quick for this Lightning game. Okay, you know how Kastelik, Mark Kastelik.
I know him. Yeah, I know.
You're familiar with the man. How he's been one of the more consistent Bruins, especially in terms of just effort and you can clearly see he's trying.
Yeah, he plays Bruins hockey.
He had 8 minutes of ice time this game, the least amount out of any player. He went 6 for 9, 6 out of 9 for the dot, and he played 8 minutes.
6 for 9 in the dot, a fight.
Yeah.
8 minutes.
8 minutes. I don't know if something else is going on there, but that really stuck out to me. That is the dark side of, that's interesting. It's this is sucks. Also
I don't know. I know Sacco has coached before, so maybe that doesn't make sense. But I was going to say this is also part of having a coaching change mid-season. That there's a bumpy road, but they looked so good out of the gate with Sacco. I just don't understand.
That's the dead cat bounce. That's the change of coach, momentary flash in the pan excitement, and then it was a matter of, is there anything substantial there that will linger? Which evidently not. What the Bruins are what now? Nine. Fuck. What they're at 500 now under Sacco. They're at 500 now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel anything about Joe Sacco. He feels like your interim coach. I've never seen an interim coach feel more like an interim coach, which kind of sucks because it's you can't fire him, but it's if you don't have anybody in the wing, it's kind of stuck with him. I also don't think he's the problem. No. I don't know if there is a problem. This feels too universal for it to be one thing. I feel like there's a perfect storm of 4 smaller things that are just synergizing to this hurricane of shit.
The number one problem right now is the Boston Bruins.
That's a big part of it.
That's a big part of it. And beyond that, the other stuff is minimal. But most of the problems are the Bruins. on the ice, and I don't know. But see, I have no idea. But I'm not going to pretend like I do.
No.
Because I don't. I'm not going to pretend.
Lindholm took 27 draws this game.
Did he win 12 of them?
He won 17 of them.
Wow.
He's so good at the dot, I will say. Like, there's times I'm like, he's going to not only win this, he's going to win it very cleanly. And then he does.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't had a guy like that since Bergeron. So even having that is super nice. Somebody texted me in the heat of the Canucks trade rumors, being like top down Bruins centers being JT Miller, Elias Lindholm, Matt Patra, Mark Kastelik. It's like, yes, please.
Yeah.
I yes, please.
The thing is with like whenever Lindholm gets brought up, it feels like the problem with the team smacks me right in the mouth. And it's like, oh, right. They like acquired good players and have homegrown good players, and none of them are playing good.
No.
That's like, it seems like it is so stupid to be like, well, it is that simple. Like they did. That's why it's also fucking hard for me to be upset at Sweeney. Because he drafted bad a decade ago. Like,
well, he's made moves more recently than that as well.
Yeah, it's like
when the problem's the roster, it's the GM's fault. That's just how it is. And right now it feels like a roster issue. So yeah.
But is the roster constructed poorly, or is the roster performing poorly?
I mean, it's both, isn't it? I think one lends to the other. I think the performance informs to you about how well it's structured. It can look as nice as you think it does, but until you see them out on the ice and see them play and then see their record halfway through the season, you won't know. And now we know that for whatever reason, this roster ain't it. That's so oversimplifying it. Like, there's so many individual efforts that are like subpar that are contributing to this, but I'm not like waking up and then like tweeting fire Sweeney every day, but I'm also not like, I don't think he's innocent in this. And if we're talking about, I was at the game when the fire Sweeney chant was going on. Yeah. Took the one video of it. If I knew it would go viral, I would have taken a better video of it. Whoops. But yeah, I don't think he's innocent in all this. And if you are looking for a shakeup and you've already fired your coach, you can only go up. And people have been annoyed at Sweeney and Neely for years. And this is like, talk about coming to a head. Like, I don't think this is the first 6-game losing streak under Sweeney. Their 5-game losing streak was the first one since December 2019. So this is like, we're more or less in uncharted waters in terms of how bad they are right now. And they're playing Florida next. Like, they're not even like coming up on a good stretch. They're coming up on a fucking
and then
gauntlet.
This team again. And then the Lightning again.
The Lightning again. And then I forget who was after that, but it's also terrible. Yeah,
it goes is Florida, Tampa, Ottawa.
Okay, and then we get San Jose as a refresher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Ottawa, well,
this is also that like road trip that we always talk about going to.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't.
Let's wait till they're good again.
Can you imagine?
Oh my god! Wow,
can you imagine if
we'd still be in
there?
Florida? We'd still be.
We definitely. I remember. I'm looking at the dates: January 9th and January 11th. We definitely did talk about doing this exact road trip.
We do it every season.
It was probably this time last year.
Yep. No, the schedule comes out, and I look for the one. I think there's multiple Tampa, Florida road trips, and we're like, oh, this one's over Thanksgiving. That'd be perfect. And then we don't do it because things cost money.
Yeah, that's probably the main reason.
It's not cool with me. Not cash money, literally.
It is crazy that Tampa is. I mean, they're not still Tampa, but they're kind of still Tampa.
Kind of Tampa. There's some residual Tampa there.
It's been too long.
Thank God we're not third in the division anymore. Too. It was bothering me.
Pissing me off.
It was a bad look for the league that the Bruins could lose 5 games in a row and not even move a fucking inch in the standings. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Well, because we played half the season already. Everybody else is playing. Everybody else is in Q1, and we're at the goddamn All-Star break. I have no idea why the Bruins had so many games in hand.
there's no team that's played more games than the Bruins right now. One other team matched it, the Devils, with 44. You know, the team that started their season a week before everybody else.
Yep.
We have a minus 27 goal differential. Excellent.
I'm trying to look ahead and see, what this next stretch, what we can try to
I don't look
tag
forward
this.
to any of it.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to it.
Oh, okay, good. Making sure that you weren't getting optimistic on me.
No, God, no. Don't worry.
That's not our brand. Not right now.
I was looking on the schedule at the future. And I think I see a stretch here. Colorado's still good, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're a pretty good team.
All right. I see it. I see the stretch.
The team that looks like they're skating twice as fast as everybody else you've ever seen skate in your life. Yeah, they're all right. Yeah, they're
still good, huh?
Pretty good.
It's also tough.
The shit at the end of this game, too.
Mm-hmm.
One, I missed it. After the first empty net goal, I'm like, I'm good. Thank you. The cross-check to Catholics pretty chicken shit, I will say. But also, it's like one of those games. It's like there's definitely some people, and like,
thank God he didn't embellish.
Oh, don't even. Zaka did nothing wrong. There are moments where it's like, oh well, they're showing fight at the end of the game. It's like I don't care. You're down 3-1, 4-1. Like I don't care. Like you get nothing from me. I'm being like, oh nice, cool guys. I don't know. I'm a downer lately.
Sure.
In general, I'm getting sick. I hate being sick.
What always makes me feel better when I'm sick, to be honest?
What makes you feel better when you're sick?
Going to Bruins games.
That's good for everybody.
Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff. I already said that. Game Time Picks curation makes it easier to find better value for tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc.
And it filters out the fluff.
So you don't have to spend time going through thousands of tickets. The all-in pricing tool, man, you toggle that feature, it shows you the total up front, so there's no surprise fees at checkout. While you're there, why don't you click on the seat and get a seat view? You get a panoramic view from your seat before you buy the seat.
While you're at it.
And while you're at it, let me tell you about my experience personally with Game Time. I buy tickets there all the time. I love the super deal. That's how you know you're getting the best value for a deal for a seat at the ticket for the event. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
I genuinely like Game Time. I will say that.
Oh yeah, no, me too. Just because I feel awkward reading it. What?
No, I do. No, I do. I promise. Pull your
just because
pants
I
up.
scramble reading an ad because I feel awkward doesn't mean that I.
No, ever since they sponsored us, it's like the only one I use anymore. Like they genuinely tend to be the cheapest seats. So
no, they do, and like that. Honestly, I put a lot of stake into just like user interface, just on every app.
Oh yeah, it's so easy. Like a lot of the apps, like navigating the map, because like I want to look at a map of the arena and go from there, and they do a very good job of that, and like color coding like the deal quality. Very nice.
That's why I never made the full jump from Twitter to Threads. That's why I think Threads never caught on, because the user, it just looked slightly wrong.
The people on Threads are all on drugs, and not the good kinds. They are the some of the opinions and the things I see on that app, I feel like I'm like glancing into like a very abstract ring of hell. Like it's just so strange. The weirdest people, the weirdest opinions. All social media is pretty awful. Like not everybody needs a bullhorn. Like some opinions should be kept in the dark. But there's something about Threads. It's like every fucking time I open it, it's like, what is wrong with you people?
Dude, Twitter has become borderline unusable for me just because, like, the For You tab, nobody's talking about this because everybody stopped using the For You tab, like, the second that it came around or that Elon changed it and switched over to the following tab. But I stayed on the For You tab because it would still show me people I'm following and people that I should follow, and it would show me the biggest news first. And now, like, Bruins news, Red Sox news, just sports news, like, can fall through. If I don't have notifications on for somebody, if I open the For You app, it's just, or the For You page, it's just like 97-year-old NYC diner still makes Coke the old-fashioned way. You'll never believe this man lifts a car to save a baby. It's like, what is this Facebook ass?
Or just obviously AI things.
Obvious. Oh my God.
An insane generational divide in the ability to detect AI and not.
Crazy. Me
and my old age at 30.
In news that is somewhat relevant, but not all too relevant. My dad likes Austin Matthews now.
I like Austin Matthews. Honestly,
we all should.
I don't. There's like not enough about him to like hate. Like other than he's a Leaf and he plays well. It's annoying to play against him. Like I don't hate Austin Matthews. I really don't. Like I don't have any venom for him whatsoever.
It kind of weirds me out when I see people hating on him because I'm like, we're the Bruins fans. Like if anything, we should be hating on it. I don't see Bruins fans really doing that.
No, well, there's always other people on the team that are more worth hating. It's like, I don't know, like some guys that just, he's just a hockey player. He's like a good, really, really fucking good hockey player. Like he doesn't
Boston sports fan.
Boston sports fan. Big Poppy.
He's Poppy. He wears 34. He goes
He's
by
an
Poppy.
American, which is going to matter next month and next year. USA hockey, baby. USA hockey is back. Canada's. Get off the throne. It's ours.
It's Latvia's.
It's Latvia's. It's Czechs. There's a joke in The Simpsons where they're watching a soccer game and the intro, it's like, once and for all, it will be decided who the greatest country on earth is, Uruguay or Portugal. And I think about it a lot whenever I'm watching like two teams play each other that like the Ducks and like the Sharks. I was trying to think of not a California team, but those come to mind. So Blackhawks, there we go.
Ducks and Sharks used to be amazing for the jersey matchup, if nothing else.
That's true. Yeah, that's
like 1999 true. Ducks Sharks.
The outdoor game.
Yeah, that was my C block note. Yeah, and we just have been talking about other stuff, but we can get to it. They're going to play outdoors against this team, against the Lightning next year
in the state of Florida.
Florida. Florida. Yeah. Florida.
And Joe, I don't know if you know this. You've been there, so you might know this.
Yep.
Pretty hot in Florida.
Dude, so people don't talk about this, but the reason they call it the Sunshine State is because they
make their Coke the old-fashioned way.
Because they make their Coke the old-fashioned way.
That's what it is.
Yeah. They call it that because the sun's like always fucking shining there. And it doesn't matter what month it is. Like it's hot and like the coldest it gets is like pretty hot. Like January there is like 75. Like what here, let me check what I have it up on my weather app all the time. I have it saved because I love going to Florida.
I also check Florida's weather all the time.
This week it's like 70, 68, 71.
Cool.
62.
It was 0 degrees in Seaport today.
Yeah.
I wore gloves. I hate wearing gloves.
Where I am at this moment feels like 3.
Good. You're in the Great White North.
Yeah,
like 6 in Boston at the moment. Awesome. It's so good. I love it. It's so good.
So the problem with playing hockey outside is that there's ice you got to maintain that's outside. And it's warm in Florida, sunshine, sun hot, ice cold, sun warm. What are we doing? The amount of balls they have to have, like the confidence that they must have in their cooling system, staggering. Brass nuts to be like, this will work. Because if it doesn't, everyone's going to be like, yeah, no shit, that didn't work.
What's crazy is that not only the Bruins playing an outdoor game in Florida in February against the Lightning, a month before, the Winter Classic is in Florida also at a different arena in a different city.
In a warmer part of Florida.
There must have been some meaningful breakthroughs in ice technology in the last 72 hours for this to make any sense at all. Because I don't get it. I don't understand how we don't even have good ice indoors in Boston, Massachusetts. And they have the balls to be like, we're going to play in the surface of the goddamn sun. It's fine. There's coils.
We're going to play where the Dolphins play. We're going to play where the Bucks play. We're going to play, I don't know, Ecuador. We're going to make it work. That's the thing with this is like, no one's going to have sympathy if it doesn't work. Like, remember that it was one of the first Winter Classics where I think it was like too cold.
That's awesome. The puck was too hard. That's what it was.
The puck was too hard. That's what it was.
Too hard.
The puck was too hard. And then there was the one where it was snowing and it was like visibility was tough.
That was the Leafs Red Wings. That was an awesome classic. That was
awesome classic.
The best jersey matchup I've ever seen.
And looked so good with like the snow. Oh, it was awesome.
So good. That was my first Winter Classic too, actually. That's why I was spoiled. But
yeah, but like those things happening, everybody was like, hey, it's outdoor hockey. That's going to happen.
That's why we're doing it, baby.
It added to the charm.
And when they're skating around in an
Olympic swimming pool, no one's going to have any sympathy for you. No one's going to be like, well, that's outdoor hockey. Everyone's going to be like, way to go, Gary. Good thinking, Gary. No kidding, this didn't work, dude.
It's so funny because, like, in the back of my head through all this, I'm like, you said they have the balls to do this. They must have something. It must, and they will. It will. But it would be so funny if they went out and it's exactly like we feared it would be. And it's like, oh my God, the ice won't freeze. It's like, what do we do?
I mean, I think it's a very real possibility. And they know that everyone's thinking that. Like,
it's a Tim Robinson sketch. It's just like, who thought ice hockey in Florida would be an okay idea? It's like, I don't know. The hockey's cold. I thought it'd be cold.
I have no idea what advancements took place, but you're right. Something must have happened, but
well, no,
I have a very hard time picturing them both going well. Like, to roll the dice twice in a month is nuts. Like, do it once, figure it out, then come back. To set up two of them when you don't know if it's going to work is crazy.
Am I a bad fan that I just don't really give a shit about outdoor games?
No, because I think that the second that they made the Stadium series, the novelty wore off.
Yeah, like, because you had the Winter Classic, you had the Heritage Classic, and it's like, okay, let Canada do their thing. But you're right, and then you have Stadium series. It's like you're diluting it, and two, it's like not unless it's the Winter Classic because it's the game. Which it wasn't even this year. Also, all right, I'll get to that in a moment.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, unless it's that, then like it's just another game. And like think like the Lake Tahoe game. I missed that game live because I just missed it. But even when I went to go watch it, it was so hard to watch the game because of the glare. It was like genuinely like a bad television product, which is like what I feel like they don't bank on enough or don't count enough on. It's like, yeah, like being there is fucking awesome. Kind of.
Depending on where it is. Like, if you're at Fenway
$4,000 on seats, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, if you're in the grandstands at Fenway, if you're in the back rows, like, yeah, you can.
You're just watching the game on the Jumbotron. That's it.
Yeah. And the Jumbotrons are 40-inch TVs that are 10 feet above your head.
Also, the NHL is a fucking joke with its marketing. One, they moved the Winter Classic off of New Year's Day to New Year's Eve this year.
Bullshit.
There were 12 other games that day. 12.
It was at 5 p.m., Rob.
What? And it was Joe, would you be surprised to learn it was the least viewed Winter Classic yet?
No, I'm not surprised at all.
Because there were supposed to be like games.
It's supposed to be 1 o'clock New Year's Day only game that day.
I didn't even hear why they changed it.
I didn't even know till I was looking at the schedule.
It's so fucking dumb. NHL's just they are just constantly tripping over themselves. I can hear and feel my throat getting worse. Like, I'm going to go drink some
After
soup.
a record low performance last week. Oh my God, Rob, you're going to hate this.
Hit me.
The NHL Winter Classic is not returning to New Year's Day, but after a record low performance last week, nor is it staying on New Year's Eve. The NHL announced Wednesday that next year's Winter Classic is scheduled for Friday, January 2nd.
This isn't a real league. Like they're just going to keep next year. The year after it'll be December 30th, and then January 3rd. They're going to circle further and further away from the one fucking day you expect and want them to play that game.
It's just
I don't
the
even
one
care
thing.
all that much about the Classic to begin with. Also, it's like, okay, it was special because it's the game. It's New Year's Day. You have the day off. It's in the afternoon. It's special because everybody watches it. But when people aren't watching it, it's not special.
A lot of people online saying, like, I guess it had to do with college football.
That I did actually, now that you say
but
that.
Also saying, like, college football is so regional to the South. Like, we care, but, like, do we? You know, we don't have a dog in the fight. You pick a team like you pick an English Premier League team. I don't know if that's, like, legit. That, like, people in Chicago are going to care more about Texas A&M playing that day. Just,
I don't even care. It all comes back to the fact that I'm very dejected from watching this Bruins team, and I don't care. So
do you have any
final
thoughts you want to get off your damn chest?
Nosferatu was so good. I love Nosferatu so much. I know it was not a 10 out of 10 for you, but I think it's Robert Eggers' best movie. I think it's better
That's
than
wild.
I on the second watch is when I was like, yeah, this is probably this one. After the first one, I still had The Witch up there, but on the second one, I was like, you know what? I think it says.
I think this might be third for me.
Northman being fourth. What?
Yeah. Northman being fourth. Yeah, I thought you were talking about second. Yeah.
No. So I'm guessing it's you're pretty film schooly, so I wouldn't be surprised if you put Lighthouse number 1, but you probably put The Witch number 1, then Lighthouse, then Nosferatu, then The Northman.
Yeah.
That's it? You're not? Okay. Yeah, me, it's Nosferatu, Witch, Lighthouse, Northman. I kind of like, I cluster The Witch with Nosferatu and then The Northman with The Lighthouse. They're on the same tier to me.
I like The Lighthouse so much.
It's like a movie that you're like, this is like art. Like some movies are just like, yeah, you just watch it and it's a good time. It's like, no, this is a piece of art.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
there's a big divide in the movie or the film community, as we call it, between art and entertainment. And I think Eggers does a good job of skewing that line, of blurring that line.
Yeah, I see that.
And also, New Hampshire native.
I thought he was from like the fucking woods, and you were like, no, he's. I whenever I hear a town in New Hampshire I'm not familiar with, my brain's like, it is in the northern half, and there are 150 people there. And
you're like, oh, that's the scene from Breaking Bad.
Honestly, yeah, that is kind of more or less where my mind goes.
Yeah, Lee is like it's a coastal town, more or less. It's like it's right next to UNH. It's like it's like a suburby town. There's nothing there. I don't know what the population is.
Well, regardless of where he's from, I'm liking what he's doing. Also, I liked Wicked a lot.
5,000 people, 4,500 people.
I really liked Wicked still. It's very good.
I'm on a chase. I'm on a chase to do 365 movies this year, so maybe awesome. Wicked will make the cut.
I tracked all the movies and shows I watched. I definitely didn't watch that many, but I did watch quite a bit. I will say, because now we're just spitballing here, my favorite show of the year, and I watched a lot of television in 2024, was X-Men 97.
That's just so not surprising at all.
It's obviously, if you're not a Marvel fan, like, you're not really going to care. But I will say, I didn't even watch it when it first came out, because it's like, oh, it's a continuation of the 90s show, which I didn't watch. And it's like, I've never been like huge on the X-Men. Like, I do really like the X-Men, but they've never been like, oh my God, I fucking love the X-Men. within like the first 10 minutes, I like paused it and said out loud to myself, I'm like, what am I watching? Like, it's just, I thought this was a kid's show. And not that it was like inappropriate mature, but it's like the writing it's the most well-written, well-voice acted show I watched all year. It's the unbelievable. And I always look for an opportunity to let anybody know how good X-Men 97 was. Close second, or at least a second, would probably be the Penguin. I loved the Penguin.
Penguin was up for some Globes.
Oh, it was so good, Joe. Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
It all looked good. It all looked good. And you didn't ask, but I'm going to throw it out anyway.
I was about to ask.
My best TV show of the year. Technically, I don't even think it came out this year. I think the final season came out in either 22 or 23. Only 2 seasons of the show exist. It got canceled, which blew my fucking mind to find out. It's on the cock. It's called One of Us is Lying.
Oh, you did tell me about that. You were trying to get me to watch that.
It's very good. I thought it was going to be some bullshitty, like young adult, whatever, put on in the background show, and it sucked me in. Like the themes are young-ish. Like the main characters are in high school,
sure,
but the stakes are very high, and they keep getting higher. But it never, like, he loses touch with reality. Like Stranger Things, I feel like lost touch with reality, and they're like,
well,
now the Russian government is trying to blow up the world, and it's like, well, I thought this was like kids and a monster. Like, I don't know.
Well, it was always Dungeons and Dragons, so it was never really rooted in reality.
Yeah, but it was like it was still grounded in like, these are some kids coming together to do something fantastical.
Yeah,
and now it's like, pick up a sword and you kill the monster in one stab.
I don't think you've watched Stranger Things, if that's your impression of it, but
no, I am. What do you want me to be real nerdy about it? Because I will. Because the whole season 1 is them fighting one Demigorgon, and then in season 3 there's a scene where Hofer Stepper, what is the fucking sheriff's name? Hopper kills a Demigorgon with one slice of an axe, and he kills it like that in one swipe of a boom. And it's like, he's in the fucking upside down, because you can just waltz in there now. You don't need a hazmat suit anymore. They just keep. I hate that it's like, the stakes are so high that the villain of the whole season 1 now, it takes 5 seconds in season 3 or 4, what the fuck ever they're on.
Have you never played an RPG and you level up, and then bosses that previously were a problem for you are now just like enemies that used to be a boss are now just regular enemies? It's like when you get to Lost Izalith in Dark Souls 1 and you start fighting all the Taurus demons.
Now we're nerding out way too hard.
I could do a whole fucking podcast about the Dark Souls.
We're nerding out way too hard. Let me know if you want to play Marvel Rivals later. I'll be on.
I'm immediately playing Marvel Rivals the moment we hang up.
I'm actually not around. I got to edit this fucking show.
Son of a bitch.
I got to do this. I'm going to be up till 3 doing this.
I'm a Moon Knight main.
Thanks so much for listening. If you still are, holy shit. You can follow us on the socials at bearwithme_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Rob Tocci. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you're not watching on YouTube, go over to the YouTube. You got a new setup over here, so that's worth promoting, I guess. It took me about 10 minutes to throw together, but come on over and see us. We're a little bit bigger now. And sub on the YouTube. Follow us fucking wherever. I don't know. We're always talking. We're always doing Bruin stuff, even if you got a fucking Lego.
Yeah, brother. My X-Men 97 Wolverine adamantium claws, brother.
God. It's amazing that you live with a woman.
Do you want to see my Infinity Gauntlet?
No. Thank you.
Wait.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will
Nano Gauntlet.
We will be back.
That's all the Legos I have at arm's reach.
We will be back. That's all right. We'll be back after. God, who even knows? Maybe we'll be back after the
I
Florida
may never
games
come back.
wrapped it up.
I may never return.
After the Lightning game, we'll come back after the Lightning game. We'll do something in there. So we'll be back. Want to say Wednesday?
Sounds good.
All right, so we'll be back. We'll be back Wednesday after these last 2 games, and then we're gonna work on building a new chapter here to look forward to, because it is the dog days, and I know you guys want to stay hooked and have something to do. And the chapters really helped me. I think people give a shit about that. Like, look at like a chunk and be like, oh, okay, if they can win 4 of these next 6, they get back in it a little bit. Yeah. So we will be back. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for following along. Thanks for subbing on YouTube. Thanks for I don't know.
Bearing with me.
You must bounce on it crazy style.